respected professors, scholars, and distinguished guests. It is my pleasure speaking at this international symposium on process philosophy and the ecological transformation of enterprises. The topic of my speech is promoting the dialogue between Mahayana Buddhism and process philosophy. The process philosophy, or the philosophy of organism, put forward by Professor Alfred North Whitehead of Harvard University, is a profound theoretical system centered on creativity. It holds that becoming precedes being, and the universe comes into being through the concrescence of mutually prehending, momentary actual occasions, remaining in perpetual dynamic interrelated flux. It thoroughly rejects the traditional static substance ontology with an organic, relational cosmic vision. As the most sophisticated philosophical system of modern Western thought, it shares remarkable resonance with Mahayana Buddhism in its cosmology. From ancient times to the present, conventional perceptions and traditional philosophies across the East and West have presupposed a substance-centered framework. They believe in unchanging matter, an enduring self, and independently existing external objects. Simply put, being takes precedence over becoming. The static substance outweighs dynamic process. The consensus shared by both Mahayana Buddhism and Whitehead's process philosophy is the complete subversion of this conventional mindset. Today, I would like to draw a comparison between the Mahayana Buddhism and Whitehead's process philosophy. This dialogue between the two profound Eastern and Western philosophical systems can hopefully advance humanity's understanding of the cosmos. The Mahayana core teachings can be condensed into three statements. First, all conditional dharmas are impermanent and have no fixed substance. All phenomena arise and vanish instantaneously. Second, all dharmas are devoid of selfhood. Body, mind, and all things arise from conditions, and no dharma exists independently. Third, all phenomena of physical world and our perceptions are dependent on conditions. They are all mind only, that is, manifestation from the flow of consciousness, and therefore empty by nature. The Mahayana teachings and the process philosophy share strikingly similar interpretations on cosmic reality. First, the 10 times perfect teaching inherits and develops the Mahayana thought of Nagarjuna Bodhisattva. 10 times core doctrines include the perfect mutual embrace of the three truths, and one thought encompassing the 3,000 realms. The Tiantai school holds that every single Dharma fully embodies the three truths of emptiness, nominal existence, and the middle way. All phenomena exist provisionally through conditions yet lack inherent self-nature. Emptiness and existence are non-dual, which constitutes the middle way. Moreover, a single fleeting thought of sentient being inherently contains all 3,000 realms. The partial enfolds the whole, and one single thought embraces all realms. Self and others, sentient beings and their environments, affliction and body, samsara and nirvana are perfectly integrated without division. In short, one contains all resides within one. Perfection is immanent and complete from the very start. Second, corresponding comparisons with Whitehead's process philosophy are listed below. Number 1, Tian Tai's teaching that all dharmas lack substance and arise and perish instantaneously corresponds to Whitehead's actual occasion. The universe contains no fixed entities, only transient, experiential events that come and go in a split second. Mountains, rivers, and physical bodies and mental thoughts are continuous aggregates of actual occasions. Secondly, Tian Tai's doctrine that one thought encompasses the entirety of existence corresponds to Whitehead's theory of prehension. Every present occasion fully receives and prehends all karmic causes and experiences of the cosmic past. A single moment encapsulates all information of the universe. Thirdly, Tian Tai's non-duality of sentient beings and their environment, non-duality of self and others, corresponds to Whitehead's organic cosmology. All things embrace one another intrinsically and interact reciprocally, with no isolated individuals. This philosophy thoroughly dismantles mechanistic and fragmented interpretations of the cosmos. Fourthly, Tian Tai's teaching that inherent nature contains and manifests all 3,000 realms corresponds to Whitehead's eternal objects. Buddha nature inherently holds all possibilities of enlightenment and delusion, virtue and vice, purity and defilement, manifesting in accordance with conditions. Eternal objects store all abstract forms and latent potentials of the cosmos, and all worldly phenomena emerge from the selective actualization of these potentials. Fifthly, Whitehead's interpretation of consciousness and self aligns closely with the Mahayana theory. There exists no substantial, enduring self. The so-called I is neither a soul nor a static mind, but a continuous subsequence of a high-order actual occasions undergoing concrescence. Every moment gives birth to an entirely new conscious subject. After completing its process of feeling, selection, and experience, this subject perishes immediately and transforms into objective superject datum, to be inherited and carried forward by conscious occasion of the next instant. The persistent sense of self originates from prehension inheritance. Every new conscious occasion fully prehends and inherits all memories, feelings, and personalities from the prior moment. This continuous causal chain of similar succession generates a stable sense of self-entity. And finally, Whitehead's pan-experientialism resonates with the Buddhist principle that all sentient and insentient beings share the same Dharma nature. All microscopic entities, plants, and objects derive from a single awakening nature. Human self-reflective consciousness constitutes high-order, lucid, integrated experiential concretions, completely dissolving the dualism of mind and matter. Now I'm going to talk about the difference in telos or ultimate realities between Mahayana Buddhism and process philosophy. Mahayana Buddhism teaches that good and evil, sufferings and afflictions are inseparable from the middle way reality, differing only through the lens of delusion versus awakening. Afflictions possess no inherent essence. Once delusion is reversed, suffering dissolves instantly, for primordial nature is eternally pure and complete. The ultimate horizon of Mahayana Buddhism is returning to one's primordial origin. All sentient beings inherently possess complete Buddha nature. Through rational contemplation in spiritual practice, practitioners eliminate attachment to self and to dharmas. No addition or creation is needed. One merely recovers original truth. By contrast, Whitehead's universe dynamically advances toward perfection. Sustained by creativity, the ultimate cosmic category, all entities undergo continuous concrescence, endlessly generating new beings and new values, perpetually renewing and improving itself, eternally unfinished and perpetually progressing. Through God's primordial nature and consequent nature, the universe has no static final perfection. It perpetually generates novelty, advances infinitely, and draws ever closer to richer harmony. To summarize, Mahayana Buddhism affirms original immanent perfection, with transmigration arising from delusion and awakening restoring primordial truth. Process philosophy affirms endless creative generation that perpetually draws nearer to perfection. Finally, let me conclude. Whitehead's process philosophy marks the highest breakthrough in Western substance metaphysics. It dismantles mechanical materialism, mind-matter dualism, and rigid substantialist thought. It interprets the cosmos through flux, relationality, organic unity, and wholeness. It converges profoundly with Mahayana Buddhism, standing as the Western philosophical tradition closest to the Eastern Buddhist thought. Dialogue between scholars of these two schools is urgently needed to deepen humanity's comprehension of cosmic truth. Nevertheless, cosmologies and ultimate horizons of the two carry fundamental differences. Process philosophy articulates the mundane truth of dynamically evolving, perpetually generative universe. On top of explaining mundane truths, the Mahayana Buddhism reveals the supra-mundane ultimate truth. All dharmas are empty of inherent nature, primordially pure, complete in the present moment, and perfectly embracing one another. Whitehead employs the concepts of actual occasion, prehension, concrescence, creativity, and eternal object to explain how consciousness and all worldly phenomena operate. Mahayana Buddhism elucidates the inherent essence of all things, the origin of delusive attachment, and the path to liberation. Grasping their similarities and differences allows us to validate the profound, holistic cosmology of ancient Buddhist wisdom with cutting-edge modern philosophy, while simultaneously recognizing the inherent boundaries of contemporary philosophical thought. It is hoped that Mahayana Buddhism serves as a reference for modern philosophy into in-depth exploration of the cosmos, ultimately leading practitioners to cultivate their mind nature, eradicate attachment to the self, and advance toward perfect enlightenment. Thank you very much.